Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. I think everyone knows who I am. And of course, I am super excited to have my sister from another mister with me today. Um, she is, those of you that haven't met Halley Hardy, she is the TL at Long Beach Coastal, and she is such an amazing human being. I've met this woman about a year and a half ago now, since I've been in leadership. And I mean, she is a ball of energy. And when her and I get together, let's just say we both bounce off the walls. Um, so super excited to have Hallie with us. Hallie, thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate you very, very much. And let's kick it off. Who is Hallie Hardy before real estate?
That's a really good question. I think to understand Hallie before real estate, you have to understand where I came from and where my background is. So I am from Idaho. I hail from Idaho, right? It is in the Northwest. Contrary to half of Californians' belief, it is not the Midwest, it is the Northwest. But anyways, I'm from seriously the most beautiful, gorgeous, tiniest idyllic town in Idaho. Population about 3,500 people. The next nearest town is probably 30 to 60 miles away. So in the middle of beautiful, gorgeous fields and lands. Our main export is canola and gravel, which is really funny. It made the cheerleading high school cheerleaders a little ironic when they would yell, "Grangeville rocks." It worked on two different levels. I just had to make sure you guys are awake this morning for that joke. But anyways, so to give you, it's a thought potatoes. Again, another Californian fallacy. Of course, potatoes is gems, and potatoes is one of Idaho's major export, but that's actually in southern Idaho, where I'm from the northern part near to Canada. Anyways, I grew up in this tiny, beautiful town, very privileged to have a very supported, loving family. But what was so interesting about this town that really forged who I was for the rest of my career and the rest of my human being path was that because you're so small, not only geographically, but also, community wise, everyone participated and everyone was a leader. And when I mean like everybody, I mean everyone, even kids. So the community was very involved with each other, whether it was for school activities, even down to serving on board libraries. We have a public library, and it's like my brother now is a part of that as well. But it's like at a young age, when you're 10, 12, 13, they put you in a leadership role. And that's something that, it just always made me who I was, because at such a young age, I was there raising my hand saying, give me work, give me responsibility. My parents always talked about if you were able to give back to your community and to your people, it's your duty, it's your responsibility, not just financially, but with time. So again, I grew up at a really young age. I started doing things like coaching. I coached swim team for a long time growing up, which is awesome. I used to be a competitive swimmer in high school as well. And then I got into volleyball and moved on and went to college, go Vandals, University of Idaho. Played all that. If you guys had met me in person, I'm about 6 foot. I didn't play basketball. I played volleyball. But anyways, I grew this and I studied education and was really always standing up. And then I became this person that was almost bigger than where I was, is what happened. And I felt like there's something different and something more. And that's what forged my story, was that I started to realize if you wanted more, you wanted to do more, you wanted to travel more, you wanted to see more, you want to have more money, all of these things, you could do it if you just had enough courage and enough action. So that's when I relocated late in my adult life to California. I know no one here, you guys. No joke. I moved here in less than 2 weeks. My husband got a job transfer and we decided to move to Long Beach. We put down a deposit on a place, never seeing it in person. I'd never even stepped foot in California. And I drove in here seeing it for the first time and had a complete panic attack when I hit the 5. I'm like, okay, there's like 12 lanes here. This is ridiculous. But anyways, slowly and surely, this little girl from Idaho who had this amazing work ethic made it to California. That's when I started doubling down on everything. I started reaching out, started to pay the bills. I was bartending and doing all these things on the side. I had 3 jobs at one point. It was working about 18 hours a day,
Oof.
Monday through Sunday, literally every day. And that's when I started reaching again, that young Halley going, I want more. I want to do more. I want to be more. I want to learn more. That's when I got into real estate. Here in this beautiful place where literally dreams could come true. And I still had that Pollyanna rosy-eyed about it. I thought, let's get into real estate. So I started helping. I worked as an individual agent. And right off the bat, someone who didn't have a sphere here, I didn't know anyone. I just grew my community, right? And where I found the best opening for that was in the nonprofit sector. And some of you guys have heard me speak about this because I was stood up and raised up from a young age. I was always involved with nonprofits. So that was really comfortable for me. And so when I started becoming a realtor, it was like, oh, great, I'm going to go to board meetings. I'm going to join this nonprofit. Okay, cool. Oh, great. I'm going to go to their event. I'm going to sponsor something and got involved. That's where I found my passion. Had good success really early on in my business. But most importantly, I'm sitting back here in the back of my mind going, okay, what's next? What's bigger? What's bigger than being an agent? That's when I started coaching. That's when I found that passion, right? Helping people like Mary and, everyone like Gary Williams. I love that Gary's on here because he's always a great student. But that just really led where I grew up and having that. I just always said I wanted more. I started coaching and doing more. And then I thought, brokerages could be better than what I think they are right now. And I've got the talent, I've got the skill, I've got the drive. I want to give back. And so that's when I became a team leader. Leadership has just been a part of who I was in my DNA for so long. It's like I don't know any other way. I'm actually really uncomfortable. And Gary has a great quote, Mary, and you know what I'm talking about when he says the best leader is also the best follower. Yeah. And he says, some variation of that. I don't mean to misquote Gary, but that's an opportunity that I always have is saying, hey, I'm uncomfortable sometimes being a follower, but because this is who I am. So that was maybe 20 minutes or I don't know.
That's perfect.
Sorry to go off on a tangent, but
you're right. But you're right. In order to know who you are, we have to understand where you came from. And that is amazing because your entire journey, it molds you to who you are today. Right. And I think that is phenomenal.
And Mary, I was talking with Fritz Pollard, if any of you guys know, MAPS coach here out of Coastal. And we were talking about, if any of you guys have been to Career Visioning, is a great program and process that Keller Williams has to kind of give you, in a nutshell, your personality and your life story and opportunities that we can have to grow. And they're actually changing a part of the education process in this career visioning, and they're looking at things with a slightly different perspective. And Fritz was talking about the life story part of the interview process, which is where you basically sit across from the table from someone and really break down where they came from. Well, that always kind of started around school, like college age, right? That the kind of the stories historically over the last years have kind of really started there. And Fritz was telling me that they actually changed that life story interview and they started asking things like, where did you go to elementary school? Tell me where you were born. Because I think that as clients and as realtors and as leaders in our community, that sometimes we don't go back far enough, right? To understand who people really are on a fundamental level, because we meet them as adults where they have limiting beliefs and preconceived notions and things like that they encounter. But when we really understand and take a step back and go a little step further, we can understand, because that 6 to 12 are really formative years in a lot of people's lives.
Agreed. No, absolutely. Agreed. Yeah, that's awesome. So you're now a team leader. Where's your journey next? I mean, you've accomplished quite a bit. And if anyone doesn't know Halley, she's the most competitive woman that you'll ever run into, and she will always compete with you, but makes you better, not in a bad way, in a great way. She will gamify everything and she will make you better. Literally, she will challenge you. But
I
yeah,
come
so
from a I come from a very competitive family too. And it's so funny. It's not that I love to win. I just hate to lose.
agreed.
Does anyone else have that feeling? It's not like I need to be the best, but it's that I don't want to be in the bottom. But anyways, I mean, what's it like for Halley? I don't know. I'm always thinking of like what's next and what's the best. First of all, I have to commit 100% always to education. I mean, that's where it always starts. Just as realtors or as leaders, we never cap on the things that we know or we learn. And even if we've learned them before or we've experienced them before, it doesn't mean that we don't need to see it from a different perspective. Going things in classes to like mega camp, I'm really looking forward to it, even just as a leader or as an agent. That's always what's next for me. I'm going, okay, what do I need? What more knowledge do I need to take myself to the next level? I'm never gonna stop. That's just not who I am. So we'll see. But always first, the next step for me is education. So it's trainings. I'm always reaching out to meet with people and say, hey, can I sit down and can I pick your brain? Especially those people that I really respect, people like in our region, you guys, we have amazing leadership in our region right now. It's, they're very smart people with a lot of things to share and to say, and they're all here and available to you. It's like, I love sitting down with them and going, what do I need to know?
Right.
What am I missing right now? What do I need to know? What do I need to hear? What are you hearing right now that you're excited about? Sometimes, whether it's with a client or again, in a leadership capacity, we just aren't asking the right questions to get the answers that we didn't know we're looking for. And it's okay to ask questions to people that you respect, people in your leadership, other agents, anyone in your world, regional, whatever, and reach out and ask an open-ended question that you have no idea what the answer is going to be. That's okay. You want that. You want that feeling because they're going to surprise you. So ask people, what are you reading right now that you're excited about? Right? Things like that I'm always just thinking, but that's always what's next for me on my plate.
I love that. Well, you were touching on nonprofit quite a bit, and I wanted to ask this has come up actually a few times with my agents here in my office that, Hallie is part of Women's Council. How did that happen, and how can they get involved as well?
Yeah.
You and I have spoken about this, but I want to know how did you joining Women's Council to now being, I mean, you were elected for the 2023, and how did that journey look like, and how did it get started, and where are you going with that as well?
First of all, I can just always say that it's an honor to serve in any capacity. And that's what we always just have to be fulfilled with that feeling. But I came across Women's Council, honestly, it was really funny. The first initial step was one to make change. And that's how I found Women's Council. When I first got into the industry, being a younger female, I really overcame and saw a lot of things that didn't advance women as business leaders. Saw a lot of conversations happening, actions that happening, whether on purpose or not. And I felt like women in this industry, where were the average realtor? First of all, I think it's like a 56-year-old woman, I think is the last standing or average of a realtor. So just FYI, we do make up a pretty large part of the population, but long and short of it is there were actions, there were appointments and things that myself and my colleagues missed out on simply because of our gender. And that's when I felt really compelled again to help pour into advancing women as business leaders in the industry and the communities that we serve. And when I found Women's Council, it was like a breath of fresh air to have literally hundreds of leaders, so smart, so articulate, sitting at the table with groups like NAR leaders, CAR leaders, fighting together to have a unanimous voice to help make change, to help support our cause. I mean, it was so compelling. So again, little Hallie in Idaho can't not be a leader. I first became a member and then, oh, surprise, surprise, my application makes its way into the box for leadership. So I started out here in Long Beach, was the president of the Long Beach network. which is an amazing group of people. South Bay also has a great group. If you guys are in South Bay, very great. I've got friends over there. Let me know. And then I continued on my journey to the state leadership. So now I currently serve as a district vice president for the state. So I help oversee the Southern California networks to make sure that they're providing the best support and value that they can on a local level and giving them, really all the tools and resources that they need. And again, it just kind of happens. It just flows with me. I love speaking up. Again, my experience with nonprofits, I served on many, many boards, very young presidents, things like that, in a room full of full-grown adults, just because I understood Robert's rules. Anyone interested in nonprofits or running one or a part of one, even if it's just your church, I just really encourage you to understand and to master Robert's rules, which most nonprofits are governed by, because it gives you the freedom to be able to know how, when, and where to speak so that everyone has a voice and then they can share their opinion. I found that very liberating. Granted, I always like to speak, but I know not everyone has the opportunity or maybe has that, hey, I'm going to raise my hand, or hey, I'm going to share my opinion. And I loved that. So if anyone wants to get involved, please always contact me. But you can also just Google or go on Facebook and look up your local networks. Again, South Bay serves most of that South Bay area. There's 4 up in LA. So any of my LA peeps, Northern LA, can we have them up there, even up north? Awesome events up there as well. That again, it's about leadership, it's about training, it's about education and networking, and again, supporting women as business leaders.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. It's so amazing to see you empowering the next generation to step up and take that leadership role. And that's something that you should be very proud of.
That's what we do. I mean, that's what we need to do. Let me rephrase that. That's what we need to do. Again, I grew up in a community where it was like, you just got drug along to stuff. Got voluntold all the time to be a part of a leadership position. Hey, you're going to do this, you're going to bring this, and we're going to work together, and we're going to put this event together. And if we're not holding the next generation accountable to what public service looks like, then we're missing an opportunity for our community to grow into something so much stronger and bigger. So we have to encourage that. I urge you all, raise your hands.
Agreed. So, and you're big on education. I want to touch on this, and I know we talk about it, but now that we're kind of having this forum, I want to bring it more to light. What are some of the most important education that you came across, not just as an agent, but as a leader, both on and off, and things that our agents should know or should consider?
That's a really good question. I've got a whole list of books for sure. I cannot preach MREA enough, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, enough. If you've read it once, you need to read it 10 more times. I mean, down to knowing what page and what model works. That's always step number one. Other companies across the real estate industry use this to teach their agents to be top producers. So it's like, I think as a company, at least in our group of offices, we need to own that up so much more. I think that could be a part of our everyday. So definitely The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Seek a lot of education. If you guys are interested in growing your leadership skills, do things like take an online elective course about maybe HR management or leadership or business management, any of those things, even if it's just one course. Now, you're not going for a degree, but they're going to give you some interesting, again, techniques and perspectives that may not always be very prevalent in the real estate industry. I mean, especially if you're an agent, it's very autonomous. Right? It's like you come in the office, you don't come in the office. Your team leader's going, where's that person? But in reality, you could be working hard on your business by yourself. And because of that, education is not always open and readily available to everyone out there. So, do things even just outside of real estate to build your business acumen. There's a lot like BIN. If anyone's ever heard of that, the business network that they have, all of the cities here have a chapter that you can tune into. Same thing, they give a lot of education, or BNI. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. BNI, business networking. So, but anyways, Start at colleges. I'm telling you, I love taking online elective courses. I have so many certificates and extra nuggets of knowledge and books that I've gone through and read. Your local colleges are a great resource. Obviously, any of the Keller Williams ones have been phenomenal. Mega Camp. They're even having so many Leadership Academy. I'm so excited to go to that. Gary Keller's been teaching a leadership academy. So
Mhm.
that's on my wish list of things to go to, those are really good resources. Again, dozens of books. I'm reading Multipliers right now, which is basically talking a little bit about, are you a person that adds to a situation, or are you a person that divides the situation apart? So I just started reading that one, but we have a whole slew of resources. Again, don't forget about your local boards too. I think that's something as realtors we forget. There's a ton of great education at our local board. There's networking events. If you guys are young professionals here on the call, which I think they categorize anyone under 40 or something, go to YPN events. They're great. The Young Professionals Network, because it's a part of CER and NAR, every local board association should have a YPN group. They have great educations, great speakers. Again, I think we sometimes get tunnel vision with our resources, and we forget that there's still so much out there, even beyond real estate.
Yep, I love that. No, and it's true. And all you have to do is just block your time and block your calendar to attend these educational courses. You brought up Mega Camp earlier. From your experience, again, both agent and leader, how important is it for our agents to attend these mega events in our organization? We have Mega Camp that is coming up in August. We have Family Reunion that is every February. I mean, from your personal experience and I guess just knowledge on how important do you think it is?
I was and still am a relational leader or a relational agent.
Mhm.
And I look at Mega Camp and Family Reunion in two ways. One, you literally have the best minds around the country creating an education program for you at something that is like a college level in most instances. It's amazing the education that you get. Just even the market stats alone, that's worth the ticket. When Gary goes through his, state of the company, state of the market, and all the data that they have, the economists they have come together to put together these things in a very manageable way, non-overwhelming way to understand and to articulate to your clients, that right there is worth the ticket. But that's the obvious one. You go to educate, etc. The second one, and that's where the relational leader and realtor comes into play, the people that you can meet around this country that can help you and your business and potentially send you business, or relationships that you're going to have for years to come, are forged during these events. I
Mhm.
mean, whether it's people that are in your offices, like Mary and I always end up being roommates, which is super funny. And I know which side of the bed that she sleeps on and when she wakes up, but you build these relationships with people that might be near to you in your office, maybe
Mhm.
in a sister office, but then you also meet amazing relationships like out in New York. When
Mhm.
it's like, hey, imagine you have a client moving to Idaho. We talked about this, right? In Idaho. So you have a client moving to Idaho and you met someone at Family Reunion, you had dinner with them, you kept bumping into them at the expo center, maybe you had coffee with them to pick their brain. And you could say, guess what? I have so-and-so Van States up in Boise. Van's amazing. He has this great business, Front Porch Boise or something, I believe is their title. And just say, look, he's great. He's going to help you. He's going to service you. He's amazing client experience. Let me connect you. Is so much more different and powerful for your clients than saying, yeah, I'd love to find you someone in the area that I could connect you with.
Yep.
Right. And don't you think that relationship that you built with someone like a Van, or again, anyone around the country, then you can call them, text them, how's it going? Maybe you can figure out a way to close concurrently on the two properties. You're just offering your clients so much better of an experience when you expand your network. That's
Mhm.
what's so important. It's like grow your bubble as big as you can, as big as you possibly can. It will do nothing but help you and your career path and your clients. It's going to serve much, much, much better for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for that. Nailed it on the head. Love that.
And we always have fun and sometimes are in bed before midnight. So
We do. We do have a lot of fun. We do, the relationship building, the team building. I mean, I would say that a lot of us have gotten close, both agents and leadership, due to these events as well. No, that's great. So what would be one of so we always talk about one thing. What is the one thing that you would leave, or suggest our agents to do today, right now?
yeah, this is great. I think we're not going hard enough.
Mhm.
We're not leaning in enough right now. There is an upside of every upside of this market. And there are people that are crushing it and they're getting listings. I mean, gosh, we just had a listing. I had a listing for a past client, put on the market. We had like 16 offers. We're probably going to go 50, 75 over asking. It's just one of those things that it's like, this market is hot. Lean into this right now. Don't be defeated by the interest rates because people are out there shopping. I know that you can get a lot of buyer fatigue when this happens right now because you get writing offer after offer after offer. And it's hard to get things accepted, but just seriously lean into your activities, double down on them. It's summer, it's busy time. People are out, they need to move. Start making your calls, get out in your community. Because what we're doing needs to prepare us to have a very lean fourth quarter. It needs to prepare us right now because we're going to have a lean fourth quarter. So, so go out, double down, talk to your team leaders. I'm going to say that again, like sit down with your team leaders, all of them. I know Mary, she's very capable, a very capable business person. And any of the Simon, Carlos, anyone like that, sit down with us and say, what am I missing? What am I missing? Where's my gap? We all are very practiced in doing what's called a needs analysis, or we can sit down and we can find the gaps in your business and we can literally prescribe models to help you succeed or get the goals that you need by asking just some simple questions. So reach out to us. We'd love to sit down with you and again, prescribe something for you, whether it be a book or a class or a lead gen model or, org model or whatever it is. We're here to help you grow. Don't be scared. We're not scary. In fact, most of us are very friendly. I think all of us are very friendly.
Sometimes too friendly.
Pretty friendly, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But sit down with us, you guys. We'll have a good time. It can happen over coffee or a cocktail or chocolate or whatever you want. We're just here to help you. Lean in, go hard. You're going to want to start storing things up right now to make sure that we can sustain ourselves through this next year.
Agreed. No, absolutely. Start planting those seeds. I appreciate that. Well, you guys, this was awesome. Halley, thank you again for jumping in and taking the time out of your very busy schedule and essentially educating us on us needing to further our education.
Go out, find a class. I challenge you. There's got to be one class that you can do, take, see, raise your hand for. Trust me, just do it. You're going to love it. Thank you, Mary, for having me.
Of course. Well, you guys, thank you so much. Go out there, find a class, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be real estate related. Anything that will continue your success and help boost your success and even yourself personally as well. So go out there, kick some butts, and or hopefully we'll all see you at the park this morning as well for King of the Hill.
Ooh.
Yeah.